And we'll hear from Daniel in just a moment. Hey, Tony. You, how many racetracks have you been to since we last saw you? How many races? What, half dozen, probably at least?
So I left here after the thunderstorm the other night. I actually got to the airport, got to watch the $1 Million Win Sprint Car race, so that was cool. I got to see that. Flew to Columbus, Ohio. By the time I got the motorhome set up and I crawled into bed, it was 4:15 in the morning. So, but I went from there Friday and Saturday, flew back to Eldora for the Kings Royal Saturday night, flew to Denver after that, climbed in bed again at 4:15 in the morning, just enough to piss Lee off, because she looked over, she goes, "Love you, bye," and rolled over and went right back to sleep, so that was good. Then went from Denver Sunday night after Mat won to Lake Havasu Monday evening to Charlotte, and I got to go home Tuesday night, so I had one day yesterday.
So other than that, it's been a quiet week.
It's been a long ass week. I'm getting too old for this shit, so whatever. But I love it. I do way better staying busy anyway. I had a lot of fun last week. We made history at Eldora. We had an interesting race here last week. Eldora for 4 days was amazing. Denver, unfortunately, the last race at Vandermeer Speedway out there, but fortunate that one of our two cars won. So pretty good weekend race-wise.
And Marco, you were in that interesting race here a week ago. How was it? Was it as rough as it looked from the grandstands?
Yeah, I was surprised. Normally they wait until the last two races, but we're coming out of the gate firing. But yeah, it was a bit of a survival type race for me. I just had a little bit of a long brake pedal, which these Cup guys are used to taking care of their stuff. I got to do a better job of that. So yeah, it was going to come down to Denny and I, which would have been really fun to have a go. And it's fun learning from these guys and these superstars in their sandbox. I'm just trying to hang in there.
I think you're a superstar, Marco. I'm just saying.
He says that, but correct me if I'm wrong, didn't you win the championship here last year?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, I don't, you can't play this, I don't know what I'm doing shit.
Still learning from you guys.
Daniel, you're here at Stafford for the first time. What are your initial thoughts to that player?
I'm actually the real rookie here, I'm just having a blast so far. I have only run 4 laps and a half in this amazing racetrack, and I'm about to head into a heat race with these guys, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Already the energy is amazing from you guys. Thank you for being here. As I mentioned, people has been asking me, hey, what is fun about the SRX race? And to me, honestly, is all the different disciplines and different drivers that race here. You have obviously Tony, that he's a legend on everything that he's been reading. Marco in Indy and open wheel stuff. Like, I just feel like you have so much diverse background drivers, and I feel like that makes it so cool. And then on top of that, the race cars are 99% the same. So I thought that's a lot of fun. I've been watching obviously the SRX races for a while, and they look fun. And I said, man, it'd be fun to be part of that one day. And here I am.
Tony, did what happened here last week surprise you? That they were getting at it so early in the night?
Nope. Not at all. And it's exactly what Daniel said. I mean, I reminded these guys in the meeting, I said, this is so cool for me in this series because, I never got to race against Paul Tracy, but you watched him in IndyCar and he was badass in IndyCar. Marco and I didn't get to race with each other. Now we get to race with each other, and you get to race against guys.
I watched you in diapers.
That's all right, Bobby wants you in diapers.
He's not wrong. Trust me, I have a trump card for that. I just don't play it all the time. He knows. But no, that's the great thing though. It's you get to race with guys that you didn't have the opportunity to race with, and you get to race with guys that you raced with full time, and we've all moved different directions and retired and have other projects and other race cars that we drive, but we still get to come here to SRX and get to race with each other. So that's what's special about it for us.
All right, absolutely. Let's get to some of the fun questions. Got a few more from some of our karting kids this past Monday night. What's the dumbest way you've hurt yourself?
Oh man, let me go before Tony's hour-and-a-half story, but mine's pretty dumb. I had rollerblades on a four-wheeler on an ATV, and I was flat out going through the field, and I know my property lines, but the night before it had rained, and a truck, left ruts, and it just sucked the front tires in. I was flat out, pitched me over the front, the rear tire smashed my femur bone. But then this part, my grandfather was about to move into his house this week. The four-wheeler lands, pins the throttle without me on it, going right towards his house. And I remember not caring about my leg at that point, but it landed, turned, and hit a crane. I mean, it would have went like out the back door. It would have been a nice welcome for him, but I got lucky.
All right, guys, get something to drink and something to eat here. I've done a lot of stupid shit in my life. So. I would say one of the most recent ones that gets me is, and everybody goes, "Oh, you got a bruise." Well, I've got a spot somewhere up here and somewhere over here, and it's from a one wheel. And I was at IRP in Indianapolis, and Leah was getting ready to run her factory stock car, and she's like, "Please do not be late. I want you to watch this car." I could have cared less about that car. And I set my alarm, got up, got 2 business calls, and then had to take the dog out that I didn't realize she had already taken the dog out, and the dog's not doing anything. And I'm like, "You are going to get me killed by your mom." And basically the moral of the story is the battery died, and when the battery died, I about died. So I went smack down on the ground. It was such a bad scene that they had to bring the NHRA safety safari up because it was a hazmat cleanup because of the amount of blood that was on the staging lane that they had to clean up. Basically the only thing missing was the white chalk outline around my body. Other than that, it was just like any other bad thing. But yeah, that is a pretty hard reason to. I mean, I'm not a very good looking guy anyway, so I don't need any extra blemishes or anything, and I mashed. I mean, I should at some point do a story and do it on Instagram and stuff and show everybody how bad it was, because it looks like Mike Tyson beat the brakes off of me. It was way worse than it sounds, trust me.
We'll wrap up with Daniel.
When I was back in Mexico, I used to do a lot of mountain bike, and I remember one day a friend of mine, he had this bright idea of trying to go in a wheeling, but as long as possible, and trying to do it the hard way, losing the front wheel off to, so for real to go how far you can go, because the wheel was gonna go in a different direction. So
okay, you win.
It was not a good idea, because I knew it was eventually, we were gonna go down and you were gonna wreck a little bit, but what I never really realized is that when you know that you don't have the wheel, you keep pushing to try to keep that thing wheeling, but eventually when you keep pushing, guess what? You are going quicker. so eventually we wrecked, and I had actually a couple, the brake lever actually ended up going to my leg. I have a little hole here, and I had a race. I was racing go-karts already at the time, and my dad, he was very mad at me, because at the time, he was making a big sacrifice for me to race, so I couldn't walk. Like, I couldn't really, the brake lever really pushed my nerve that I couldn't really move my legs. So I was pretty sore. I was only 11 years old, but he made me race. He said, "I don't know how you're gonna do it," because I was fighting for the championship. So he said, "I don't know how you're gonna do it, but you're gonna jump in that go-kart, and hopefully you're smarter next time." So I would say that was probably one of the dumbest things I did.
The lessons we learned. Gentlemen, good luck tonight. Have fun out there.